All right. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. So I know we greeted one another in the beginning, but can we just do one more big smile and big wave? Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. All right. Well, I did that is because now I know who's really paying attention and who is not. No, I'm just kidding. But it's good to see you all here. And so, yes, my name's Dalton. Like Raphael introduced, and now you all know me as the person who likes ice cream. So I hope this didn't make you too hungry. But a little bit about myself. I want to tell a little story of how I got here. I know that we're all coming from different areas and different backgrounds, and we're all here for maybe different reasons, but I think we're all here for one core reason as well too. But from myself, I grew up in Idaho, actually. So I'm originally from small town in Idaho, and I was a very shy kid, very shy kid. So I would always just hide behind my mom whenever anybody would approach me. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I really avoided any type of social gathering altogether. So in school, I skipped every game. I skipped every dance. I skipped every extracurricular thing you could possibly do. And I showed up and that was it. And you could think about church. I grew up in church, but church is a place where people gather. They want to connect with one another. They want to speak to each other. They want to fellowship with one another. So, of course, I also avoided that as much as I could too. So, for me, online was where I wanted to be. I wanted the podcast. I wanted the sermons posted. I wanted the live session. But for me, I didn't want the people in the beginning, at least. So, as I'm sure all of us have experienced being leadership, some of us pastors, some of us other leaders within the church, they can be difficult to connect with people. But we also see that there are so many people that are now trying to carry out a life of faith that's all online. And so for myself, during COVID, I actually didn't even notice COVID was happening for like a year and a half because I was totally fine being alone. I was totally fine not going anywhere. I was totally fine just being in my room. So for me, it wasn't like a year and a half until I was like, man, I think I need some people around too. So I'm sure that all of us have experienced that too when it comes to our congregations or when it comes to the people we're also trying to lead. It can be very difficult. And so when he called me into the ministry, I thought, great. I love studying the Bible. I love, sharing the Bible. I want to serve God. And then of course I started ministry and realized, oh, wait, yeah, you study the Bible, but you're also interacting with people 24/7. And so for me, it was something that was very difficult, very different than the way that I've been living. And so today I do have the honor and the privilege to be able to share a little bit about what I've learned. And I say all this is because if I can go from being someone who is incredibly shy, avoiding any social gathering altogether, to now being able to be here, to be able to speak together with you, then it is possible to adapt. It is possible to grow out of our comfort zones, and technology for some of us is that comfort zone that we do not want to go into. So today I want to talk to us a little bit about the role of technology in today's church and leadership. And so who here has been using technology within your current ministry? Who here has been using technology? Yeah. Who here has been wanting to, but isn't really too sure how to use these things, isn't too sure what to do? Yes. Okay. So some of us. So perfect. That's okay. That's where we're going to begin. So what we're going to discuss is we're going to discuss 4 core main points when we're thinking about technology. And so the webinars that we're going to hold, these events, some of them we're going to go into more details. So today we're going to discuss 4 main core things. We're going to discuss how to use technology when it comes to outreach, when it comes to engagement, when it comes to church branding. I'll get a little bit more into that. And lastly, having a support team. So when it comes to thinking about outreaching, In other words, you want to use technology online. Well, you need people, right? You need people to be able to join you online. And so there's two core main ways you may be trying to think about using technology. So when it comes to this, maybe you're trying to reach those already in your congregation. So you're trying to share the message not only to your church in person, but you're also trying to reach them online. So a great way to do that is something like what we're doing right now, right? Over Zoom, you guys send the link, we're all meeting together. We're trying to connect, But then there's the other way, and that's trying to attract people online. So we're going to discuss a little bit what it looks like. How do you attract people online? But the same principles are going to apply to when you're speaking to those who you already are speaking to online. And so and you guys can think about this. Why is technology, the purpose of technology, what is the purpose of using technology in our ministries? What is the purpose of using technology in our ministries? And so if you're new to Zoom, that's okay. But at the very bottom, you should see a little thing that's called chat, a little chat box. So are you able to open it up? And maybe you guys can message me in the chat. Perfect. There we can see it all. So what is the purpose that you want to use technology in your ministry? And so this time, I hope we can be interactive with one another. So I see engagement and convenience. Yeah, technology is convenient to connect, spread the word, communicate, reaching younger generations. Yes, all these things may be reasons why technology is something that you see as very important within your ministry. But to think about it, to kind of summarize all of it, you want to spread the word, right? That's ultimately our goal, right? Is to lead people to God, back to Jesus. But technology, if you've ever joined something online, and you guys can look in your bottom right-hand corner, is there a big red button for you guys? Yeah, what's it say? So it says leave, right? This is how easy it is to disconnect when it is online. But someone who's in person, it's very hard for them to get up in the middle of your message, right? Walk out the door while everybody's watching. But online, that's why it's even more important that we're very intentional with the way we're trying to reach people online. So the purpose of what we need to think about when it comes to technology is ultimately we want to connect with people. Ultimately, we really want to connect with people. And so whether that's those who are joining from your ministries at home, or whether that's people, strangers online, what are they really wanting to do? They're wanting to connect with people. And when they can connect with someone, that's what can give you the time. That's what can give you now that platform, that opportunity to share what we ultimately want to do, and that's to share the gospel. And so the church, whether it's within the building or whether it's online, it's still the same. It's still to ultimately connect with people. And so now, how are we using, or why are we using technology? I know some of us may be totally against technology, or maybe at one point, but we're just trying to meet people where they are. So for myself, like I said, I was someone who I did want to carry out a life of faith, but not in the building and not with a bunch of people yet. And so where was I? Where would you find me? You would have found me on a Zoom call like this. You would have found me on a social media platform. You would have found me somewhere there. And if you would have shared the word to me and then shared the importance of the community, that's what would have got me back into the church. And so ultimately, the role of technology, you might be doing it for many different things, but it's to build connections. But we all need to first, so when we first think about this, is we first just need to get started with something. So where should we begin in our online presence, you could say, engaging with technology, is we just need to start somewhere. And so we need to pick somewhere. So who here knows the medium, in other words, the platform that they want to engage with people on? Maybe it's Zoom, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Instagram. Who here knows the platform that they want to? I see TikTok, I see Instagram, I see Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So there's a whole world of things, but the first place to start is just pick one place and just get started. And so today we're going to go over some of the tools to help you get started. And so if you've already started, we're also going to go over some tools for how you can engage with people, how you can connect with people, how you can keep people and keep them coming back. So ultimately, the end goal of you sharing the message can be done well. So the first thing is pick a platform. There's many different ones. So there's Zoom, like this, but Zoom is best for those who are already connected to, because then you just send them a Zoom link and they join on. But there's also things like Facebook, Instagram, where you can do live sessions, where you can teach people online and attract them, where you can share the message online and attract them. And so once you've picked your platform, then now you can start making content, making videos, presenting it. But the most important thing is that you just get started somewhere. But when it comes to your online presence, maybe you've attracted people and maybe people are joining on, but the second thing that we need to think about is now engagement. So you've outreached to people, but now you need to engage with them. So you need to captivate them in some way. You need to hold their attention. And so what are good ways to do this? Well, we're on Zoom, right? So there's the chat function. And I could ask everyone different questions, right? Where are you from? How are you doing? Go ahead and put a yes, a Y in the chat if you're excited for today. Oh, okay. Man, see, you can engage with people. And so more than ever, you need to engage with people, yes, of course online, but you need to engage with people even more online. And in fact, what do they say? Every 5 minutes, you should be engaging with someone. Every 5 minutes. So what could you also do? Do you guys see the reactions? The reaction button? Yeah. Go ahead and go to the reactions. You should see a bunch of emojis, smiley face, hearts. There's also a bunch of food. Why doesn't everybody put the emoji for what they had for breakfast? Ooh. What did you guys have for breakfast? I know for me, it was what? Very simple. Something maybe we all had. Coffee. Yeah, I see a lot of coffee. Bread, rice, watermelon. Well, okay. Delicious breakfast. And so these are tools, ways in which you can keep your audiences engaged. It's so easy to become disconnected. It's so easy to keep scrolling. It's so easy to just fall away. And so if we want people to hear the message, we need to keep them engaged. So using the chat, but also using hand gestures. We waved, right? We waved to each other. But we can also do, if you're feeling good, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. I see some thumbs up. See a couple thumbs up. Very good. This is also a great way to tell, like I said in the beginning, whether your audience is listening. Whether you're losing them or whether you're captivating them. And so you constantly need to get that feedback when you're trying to attract people online. You can do that easier in person. You see people moving around, their body language, their eyes are lit up. But in today's world and in a Zoom world where there's also a lot of black boxes as well too, it can be very difficult. And so how you engage with the audience, your own body language, you're nodding, you're moving, these are all things that people are looking at. More than just the words, you need something to captivate them. But so when it comes to this engagement, it may seem very unnatural at first. And it's something, a skill that we can all grow in. But there's a reason and there's a purpose. And I want us to think why. Why would I go through all the effort just to engage with someone? Why would I go with all the effort just to to learn, to focus on my body language, the way that I speak, the way that I move, is in an online area where everybody's fighting for the same attention. People go to those who they think care. People will go to who they think care. And so putting in this effort to engage with your audience shows that you care about them. It shows them that you know that they're there. And you should be thinking about, why am I doing this online event? Why am I speaking online? Why am I trying to engage with people online? Is because ultimately we're there for them and they're not there for us. We're there for them. It's not the other way around. And so if we have that proper mindset when it comes to trying to attract people online, then people are they're gonna know that. They're gonna be captivated by that. They're gonna see you're putting in the effort. And that'll be a way in which you can help them stay connected and stay engaged online. But the other way is, of course, questions, calling on people. So you can give a whole message, you can give a short message. One of the best ways is asking questions and calling on people. But there's certain ways you can do it. So for example, I could ask a question and then I could say, oh, Jonathan, can you answer that for us? What do you think's gonna go through his mind? Wait, what? What did he say? Oh no, what was his question? What was that? You might be a little embarrassed, might be a little scared to answer. Yeah, I'm not gonna join anymore. I don't want to get called on. But what could you say? Jonathan, in a moment, I'm gonna ask you about this. And now what can he do? Now, what is he going to do? What is everybody else going to do? Now that they know that they might be called on, now that they know you know that they're there, they're going to be listening. They're going to be listening. Another way is when calling, you can call on people in context. So instead of asking a question again and just saying, oh, Tyree, what are your thoughts on this? Again, you might think, what are my thoughts on what? What were we talking about again? But what can you ask? Tyree, in terms of how to get views via engagement online, is there anything you'd like to add? And what does that also give you the freedom to do? No, there's nothing I want to add. So you can wait. If they weren't listening, it gives them the ticket out, right? So then they're not embarrassed and you can still continue to connect with people. So the way in which you ask questions is also very important. Every aspect that us as leaders need to think about is that person on the other end. Our ultimate goal is to get that message, that word, the word of God, within their hearts and their minds, right? End result, end goal, for most of us at least. And maybe, to be honest, some of this you could be using for online meetings too. But there's still an online meeting, you're still wanting to convey a message, right? And so for someone to not be asleep during that meeting, they need to still be engaged. And so these are different ways that we can engage with one another so that our ultimate purpose can be fulfilled well. But all right, let's go on to the third point, and let's go to now branding. Now, branding might sound like a little off to some of us, depending on where you're at in leadership within the ministry. So I say branding because that's really what it is at the end of the day. We may not look at it like that, but the way we interact with companies, the way that we have our buying habits, things like that, is largely based off of the branding in which we are associating with the companies, the way in which we feel. And so thinking about the branding, there's one purpose. There's purpose behind, in a sense, your brand, especially online. If you want to try and reach everybody, then to be honest, it's just going to take a lot of money. If you're going to want to reach everybody online, yeah, you're going to need a lot of money to reach everybody online. But you can reach a specific type of people online. You can reach a specific group online. So know who you're targeting. Are you wanting to target families? Are you wanting to target young adults? Are you wanting to target other leaders? Are you wanting to target I don't know, fathers in Nashville. Who are you wanting to target? So know who you're wanting to target. Are you wanting to target other believers? Are you wanting to target non-believers? Know what your message is about. Know who you're wanting to target. And then know, secondly, what are you providing for that audience? What does that audience need? So when you think of, for example, Nike, if I say the name Nike, what comes to mind? You guys can type in the chat. What comes to mind when I say Nike? Just do it. Ooh, that's branding right there, right? Jordan, clothes, shoes, swoosh. Right, but none of you guys said the beach. None of you guys said the beach. None of you guys, right? Said ice cream, right? Like what I think of. Oh, there's someone said beach. Why? It's because when you think of Nike, you think sports, athletics. And so when you want something that's sports or athletic related, you're thinking about where? I'm gonna go to Nike. So in the same way, when they think, oh, I want to X, Y, and Z in terms of ministry, then what should come to their mind is what? Your online platform. This is where I get encouraged. This is where I get what I find strength. This is where I am educated. I always learn something whenever I join Tim's live session. And so know the product of what you're wanting to give. But the other thing is consistency and familiarity. So we tend to like things that are very familiar with us. It's easier. There's less of a roadblock. So anyone have a favorite television show, TV show? Yeah, what's your favorite TV show? Could be now, could be in the past. Okay, a lot of shows I don't know, to be honest. I don't really watch TV shows that much, but is there always an intro, like an intro song and like an intro something? Yeah, there's always an intro. And why is that the case? It's familiar. You want something that's familiar. You know what you're going to get. It reminds you of how you felt the first time. And so all those things can contribute to people returning, coming back. So you've spent the effort to outreach to people, to find people. You've spent all this effort to practice, to engage with people. You met with someone joined your live stream, and you asked them questions, you got to know their name, you found out where they're from, you engaged with them the whole time. But now you want those people to continue to come back so that you can continue to share that message with them. And what's going to help that? It's going to be, are they comfortable? Every time they join, do they know what to expect? Is it familiar? And pretty soon when they get in that, what does it become? It actually becomes a habit. When things are familiar, it becomes a habit. So now, even though they may not want to, they're going to join because they're just, that's what they do. This is what I do on Tuesday nights. I join Bree's stream and watch her. And her intro song, it's so catchy. Her praise voice, her singing, I don't know if you're a good singer, but. And so the way in which we, in a sense, create the flow, create an experience for those who are joining, it can help them and keep them coming back. And so there's things that you need to know then about yourself. You need to know who you are and what you're about. So it goes back to who you're targeting, what you're providing. But you need to know, what are the people resonating with? What are you speaking, the way that you're saying? What are they resonating with? Why do they always join, Charlie's Zoom instead of Mindy's? What is it that they're really resonating, taking away? And that's what then can create patterns for you to be able to continue to either whether it's producing videos, producing sermons, whether you're doing lives, whether you're meeting people on live and whoever shows up, is what are the people, in a sense, you could say, buying? So we as consumers, whether it's the consuming of a product or whether it's the consuming of a message, what do we buy from? We buy from people. We always buy from people. So do you know those like car insurance commercials? Yeah, which one comes to mind? When you think car insurance commercial? Any? State Farm? Why State Farm? See, oh, multiple State Farms. Why State Farm? Yeah, see, what are you naming? The Geico, you know, Jake, right? Affleck, which is the goose, right? You don't even know their policies, I bet. You don't even know their pricing. You don't even know. That stuff doesn't matter, right? There's a personality behind it, whether it's a gecko, a duck, or a person. Right? There's some form of personality behind it. And so people are what? People want to speak to people. People want to converse with people. And so in the same way, we need to know who we are, what we're providing. We need to know what people are resonating with. And we need to, that way, when people are joining online, when you're connecting, engaging, getting people to come back online, through whatever platform it is, understand that person on the other end, they want to connect with a person. And that's what will keep them continuing to come back. And so in some way, you need to show people who you are, what you're about. And so the branding by that can help that. So maybe you have a certain, right here, right? What our branding right here on the top, right? You guys all see it? So maybe you have what? A quote. Maybe you have a verse, a signature verse. Maybe there's something that you always say to your viewers in order to convey what you're about and the purpose and why you're doing it. And that way, whenever they think about you, your ministry online, they can always think about that. They can always know that that's what you're about. That's what you're trying to convey. That's the message you're about. And so ultimately, they're going to come back for how you made them feel. For how you made them feel. So ultimately, and I'm sure we can all agree with this, who changes the hearts of people? Who changes and impacts the hearts of people? Yes, it's God, right? God, Jesus. But it's our job to give them the opportunity, to give God the opportunity to do that work. But if we don't engage them online, if we don't try to improve, we don't try to create an environment that people want to return, then we're not allowing God that opportunity. So if they only show up once and they're looking at that big red button in the bottom corner, don't look at it because I don't want you to look at it, but then they're not gonna have that opportunity anymore. And so all we're doing as we're practicing, as we're growing, as we're improving in the way that we engage with people, the way that we interact with people online, is we're just giving God a greater opportunity to work in them. And so that's what we need to always have when we think about the way that we're doing things online. All right, let's go to the fourth point really quick. And this is going to be regarding support team. Okay, so this is a little bit more technical, okay? But it's okay. So within your ministry, within your surrounding, hopefully there might be someone who can help you with this. Someone who can help you get set up, who can do some of the technical things. So two main reasons for this. One, you're helping people to step up. You're a leader, right? We're leading people. At least most of us are leaders here. We're trying to lead people. So we need to help people get involved, participate, feel more purpose and meaning. Not just only attend and only listen, but we need to get people to feel a sense of belonging. And how one good way to do that is helping people to have some form of duty, some form of responsibility. So you can raise someone up, someone who hopefully knows a little bit about technology that can help. Maybe they can upload the videos for you. Maybe they can set it up. Maybe they can do some of that branding. Maybe there's an intro slide. Maybe there's an intro picture video that shows up. Maybe they can help with that. And that way your efforts can be spent not just on all the technical things, but your efforts can be spent on the engagement. Your efforts can be spent on the message. Your efforts can be spent with the people. And so having a team raised up to help, that's what's going to be very important. And so all of this you can practice, you can do all these things. But if we're not sure how to use the technology, we're not sure how to get it uploaded, we're not sure how to do all those things, or that is too big, it's too difficult, it's too overwhelming, which trust me, it can be. I didn't set up the Zoom call, to be honest. Someone help me. I was actually talking with them. I'm like, oh, I have to use PowerPoint. I don't really know how to use PowerPoint that well. Can someone help me? It was very helpful. Very helpful. And so to kind of summarize what we covered so far is the role of technology in leadership for our ministries should be to connect with people and to share people the word, the message, right? Of course. But in order to do that, one, you need to outreach. You need to find people online. And that means just starting with finding some platform just to learn off of. YouTube, Live, Instagram, whatever it may be. Somewhere, some way that you can learn. But secondly, if you found people, even one person, you need to engage with them. That it's not just about, oh, I just want to convey this message and that's it. But in an online setting, they can't, in person, they just get up and leave, or they can't just get up and leave, or usually they won't. But online, they will. So you need to engage with them, captivate them, know who you're speaking to, know the message, be intentional, know the purpose. But thirdly, have some form of familiarity. Make it familiar to them so that when they do return, it's familiar. The flows return. Oh, he always asks a question in the beginning. He always gives a message, and then he always closes in prayer. So I know what I'm going to get. So I'm going to come back. Lastly, have a good team. Raise someone else up. Participate with one another. Okay. But I'm going to give one bonus tip. One bonus tip. But before I do, who here finds it difficult to get started with online? Who finds it difficult? Be difficult? Yeah, I think it can be difficult. Right? Yeah, it can be difficult, right? Overwhelming, things like that. Here's a bonus tip for anybody who finds it overwhelming, difficult. Number one, stop comparing yourself. So we might find inspiration from other people and things like that, but because someone has 100,000 views and someone has 200 views and I have 5 views, it's okay. It's okay. Give feedback, ask for help, but don't try to be someone else. So find yourself, find your purpose, attract the people who resonate with your message, and ultimately, in the end, you can always be thankful to God and lift all the glory back up to Him. All right. Well, I just want to thank everyone for attending. I do hope it was helpful. I do hope you were able to take away a few points when it comes to technology and being online. But what I want us to do is to now transition. We're going to transition into a brief time of discussion. So just a brief time of discussion. So I want to ask a question to everyone here. And for those who would like to have some input, go ahead and use the raise hand function. So just like you found the chat, just like you found the reactions, there's going to be, if you go to reactions, there's going to be a raise hand button. Oh, perfect. Charlie found it. He's already ready to go, and I haven't even gotten the question. Perfect. So here's the question. And if you guys want to answer those, Charlie and Tyree, by all means, then you can keep your hand up. So the question I want us to discuss and think about is, how do you think the use of technology can help strengthen the fellowship within your church? Yeah, Charlie, you're already ready to go.
Well, our church is an older congregation, and few people even have computers, and some are just entering into the cell phone stage. So there's a challenge there, and I'm part of that. I'm older, and I don't subscribe to a lot of the technology. I'm doing what I have to do, but I know there's more I could do. And to be honest with you, there's times I don't know where to go. We're in a small community in a rural area that anything I do, I'm about going to have to do online. And so I would be looking for a place that I could gain some knowledge and understanding of the things to do online that will help me get started.
Yes, definitely. And thank you, Charlie, for sharing. And it is true, like I kind of mentioned, it's difficult to sometimes just get started and know where to start. And so for that too, if you want any specifics and help, and this is for everyone here who is joining, if you guys want specific help, run-throughs, we can set a meeting and set a time and actually go through those steps too. So just reach out, email, respond back, a phone call, whoever you're in contact with, get in contact with them, and we can set up an individual one-to-one meeting and actually go through those things too. Yeah, Tyree, did you want to share?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Good. So yes, I would agree with you. I belong to a very mixed, culturally as well as generational church. And what I really find is technology helps us strengthen our fellowship with those who are sick and shut in, and those who have relationships outside of our general locality. So I'm in San Francisco, but when people ask for prayers for family members who are outside of our vicinity, we can actually make time to have a connection. We have a prayer warrior group on Monday mornings, and we have parishioners from the Philippines as well as from Reno, Nevada, who come to check in. So it really broadens the reach. But something that you had also mentioned that I'd like to see us develop more is having the content, not just, we can find the content, but developing people to start leading more of our Bible studies and the like offline, because we pretty much have down how to run a service, but we need to encourage more people who want to share the word to do that in this context or on these technology platforms. Before we had to do this, you said, hey, meet Wednesday nights, 6:30, we'll see you later, right? But now we have to develop the people and get them comfortable to do that, along with making sure that it's connecting. As you said, I think it's really important for us to realize what it takes to connect virtually as opposed to in real life.
Right, definitely. Yeah, thank you, Tyree, for sharing. And it really is true. I think it really is true. Getting people to step up and to take that and to also have help and resources in that too. So thank you for sharing. And again, just, for those who are wanting help and getting those things, those specific things, let's set up a time and let's meet together. And that's the purpose of why we're gathering here, is to not just spread knowledge, but to help one another too. So we can definitely work on those things together and provide a lot of support for one another, uniting all of us together.